punches they threw. But this is the thing. Ali, if it wasn't for Frazier's left hand hook, he had the baddest left hand hook in boxing. You know, if Frazier didn't take too many punches to the head, man, Frazier would have held that belt for longer than what he held it, you know, because when he beat Ali, man, he came back and lost the belt. I can't remember who, but I think it was Norton. He just had good defense, but you always have to watch out for that left hook, man. That left hook used to pick people off the ground, man. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And folks, the Chief Rocker here, joining the Sports Governor of Minnesota, Vince Wright, on Sports Done Right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. So, yeah, man, you talk about that left hook, man. He was the precursor to Tyson. Joe Frazier, and just to diverge a little bit from Ali, people don't realize just how good Joe Frazier was.
No, they don't realize that, man. That man was he was terrible, man. I mean, Ali, you know what? And he won't never admit it, but in closed doors, I think it was in the book. Ali said Frazier had him up a lot of nights before their fights because he always was thinking about that left hook coming, that left hook.
Right.
So that left hook is what broke his jaw in the garden.
That's right. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So, you know, that's what we always thought about, that left hook, you know. But no matter what you do, like Mike Tyson said, you always got a game plan till you get in that ring. You never know when that left hook is coming, you know. So, you know, I don't care how much Ali trainers told him, Angelo Dundee and all of them in the corner told him what to do. Shit, man, when it came down to him trying to find where that left hook was coming from, it was too late because he was getting tatted and all the shots.
Yeah, and unfortunately, then Frazier walked into a real monster in George Foreman, and we all know what happened there. He was not well suited to fight Big George.
Yeah, well, see, if you ain't a person that can move around like Ali, it wasn't too many heavyweights that can move around like Ali.
Right.
So everybody Frazier fought. I mean, everybody that Foreman fought, I mean, he had the advantage over, man, because George Foreman wasn't doing no moving, man. He was just throwing them. George Foreman had some of the biggest arms in boxing, man. He was just throwing them haymakers, man. He was sure enough hitting them, boy. People was sure enough hitting at the canvas after he hit them, man. That's why I understand why he fought Ali the way he fought him, man. You know, but
well, that's then, the infamous rope-a-dope came into play, and just literally, as I watched a few rounds of that last night, you know, preparing for the show tonight, Chief Rocker, and man, that's exactly what happened. I mean, Foreman just threw himself out, and again, they're down in Africa. It's hot, it's humid. I believe it was pretty hot down there during that fight, and he just punched himself out, and Ali got just enough in, because I still don't think, if you look at the highlight of that punch, it doesn't seem like that's a punch that really knocks a fighter out that Ali landed. It is a knockdown punch, but it did knock down Big George. And I don't know if George just wanted to stay down or if he was truly knocked the F out by Ali.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
No, I think he didn't want no more, man. Because Ali took Foreman hard before the fight, man.
Hey,
you know, because
Chief,
all people. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I got from
all them people down there was Ali, and Foreman just felt so lonely. You know what I'm saying? Because there was one time he wanted to back out the fight because he tried to say he was hurt or ill or whatever it was. But no, he was just depressed, man, because everybody saw Ali. So I think Foreman went in there, scared at the beginning, man. He didn't have no faith, man. He just lost his heart, man. And, if you're heartless and you come in there against a strategist, which Muhammad Ali was, you're not going to win the fight. And that's what happened. He just got out-strategized.
And Sluggo, the Hammer, the Chief Justice out there in the X Squad Nation, brings up a very good point. He says it's a knockout punch when fatigue is in the question. And again, fighting in that hot, humid African sub-Saharan heat, I'm sure that definitely, like I said, took a toll on Big George, because he was winging them punches, just like Ali said in When We Were Kings. Remember, he was doing his imitation of Foreman, throwing those big, wide open punches, and that's exactly what George did.
And that's another thing. All these boxers today don't take their fights to the Philippines, Africa, all the different countries.
Ali was a world champion, and that's why he's being celebrated as such.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So nobody ever can take that title away from him as being that. I don't care if Floyd 150 and break Rocky Marciano record, but he'll never be the greatest of all time, which he's trying to proclaim,
Absolutely.
Floyd got a long way to go, man.
Now, Chief, I want to talk to you here a little bit. We've talked about the famous fights, Norton, Frazier. Then he goes to fight an up-and-coming, a former Olympic gold medal winner himself named Leon Spinks. And,
oh, yes.
Oh, man, and let me tell you something here, man. When that fight happened, Chief Rocker, and again, I got the number one Chief Rocker on Sports Done Right with the Sports Governor, man, I nearly cried. You
know what, man?
I cannot believe
Spinks, it. And nobody ain't gonna say this. And this is your show. You can tell people that you don't take no credit for what I'm saying. Because I'm gonna say it. Leon Spinks was high in the kite that fight, man. He wasn't feeling no pain, man. He was feeling no pain. And
allegedly,
he was in real good shape. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Ali was in the best shape that fight. Leon Spinks just, I fought him that day. Because he wasn't feeling no pain, man. Leon Spinks was high in the kite, man. They mentioned it, but they would never test him or nothing like that. Back then, they wasn't testing like they test now.
And here's the thing and I just want to give a backdrop to this because, when I say this, people would totally think that there's no way that, first off, that Leon Spinks should have ever been fighting Muhammad Ali. But Leon Spinks had only 7 professional fights, Chief Rocker, to his credit.
Right.
Up until that point here in my notes, I wrote, he had recently fought a draw with actually Minnesota heavyweight Scott Ledoux. And, Ali sparred less than 24 rounds in preparation for the fight. He was seriously out of shape. I always thought he was out of shape. And he lost that title on a split decision. And that's all it was, man. He just didn't take Leon Spinks seriously and paid a price.
Yeah, as he said, Richard Pryor said, he always joke about Leon Spinks was $1.50 worth of cocaine and started before the fight.
Oh,
that's funny, man. That's funny. But hey, man, the fight Ali lost, he took him to heart because he went back, he trained hard, and came back and did what he had to do. So I look at it like this: the fights he lost, he know why he lost them, and he ain't lose too many of them like he did to Frazier that first fight. So he always lost by decisions or whatever. But that first fight, man, you can never stop talking about that fight, man. I got that fight in my head, man. That's how much I really enjoyed that fight, And I'm older than Stephen A. Smith, so Stephen A. Smith can't sit back and say I'm lying. What I'm saying? Because I had a better understanding than he did,
Chief Rocker ain't lying, y'all. We got the Chief Rocker here. Just a couple more questions for you, Chief. Now, obviously, there was the rematch with Spinks. If I remember correctly, and I watched a couple rounds that I was able to track down, and just from the notes, basically kind of a uninspired rematch. Ali did win a unanimous decision down in New Orleans. At the time, they had set major box office records, and then I remember that pay-per-view because they fought that at the Superdome. But that was the fight that made him the very first 3-time linear heavyweight champion of the world.
And you know what? Leon Spinks went out there just like Buster Douglas did when he beat Mike Tyson. They were so shocked they won. They got all that money, and they just went out there and partied like it was 1999, and President Lee had nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? He said, I made this record not for you guys to blow your money like that. I made this because we party and celebrate dancing. They party and go out there and celebrate other things, So, hey, man, if you're gonna be a true champion, man, what you do after he won that fight, he should have went in the gym and said, "Well, I got over that one. Let me go in the gym and work harder because if I got close to him there, if he want a rematch, I'm gonna have to be more super ready for him." No, he took it like a joke, man. He came in there and got his butt beat, man.
Hey, you're absolutely right, Chief. And let me bring it up to the Larry Holmes fight here. I'm coming up against it on the break here, but I definitely wanted to get your opinion on a couple more questions. The Larry Holmes fight. Right. Now, I don't know if you've seen the 30 for 30 on that ESPN did, but it is shocking, Chief Rocker. And if you have not seen this, go to YouTube, go wherever it is, the ESPN website. And I don't give ESPN a lot of love, but this one was phenomenal. You actually see the physical deterioration of Ali as he is training for the Larry Holmes fight. It almost brought tears to my eyes, Chief Rocker, to see Muhammad Ali. He could barely hit the speed bag. He couldn't hit that speed bag 3 times in a row to save his life. He was getting bounced around by his sparring partners, hitting the heavy bag like he was 2 years old. And obviously the slurred speech had already started to settle in. Not much, but it had already started. And, for Larry Holmes, obviously a former sparring partner to the champ, we all knew it was probably going to be a mismatch going in. But to actually see Larry Holmes have to do what he did that night, Chief Rocker, literally brought tears to my eyes.
You know what? I blame his people, man, because I don't care. Andrew Dundee and everybody in that corner, anybody had anything to do with Ali, should have told him, champ, don't do it. Give it up. They just said about his health, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand how he called the shot, but you cannot let a man go in there and he's not training like he used to train. How you going to let him go in there and fight? You know? Right. So, Larry Holmes was at his best then, man. Larry Holmes was the Eastern Assassin, but he was taking people out. And Holmes didn't even want to hear him no more, man.
And not only that, man, Larry Holmes had the best jab in heavyweight history, in my humble opinion.
Oh, he did. He definitely did, man. Because he studied Ali. A lot of people that came up after Ali, they studied Ali. Sugar Ray Leonard. A lot of other boxers, man. Tommy Hitman Hearns, he had a hell of a fine jab, and whatnot. But, man, I wouldn't let him win in there, man. That was shameful right there. And, it broke a lot of people's hearts for him to be in that condition out there in that ring like that, man. But, that was a big mistake then, but you can't bring it back, take it back. All you can do is say the man was a warrior. He didn't care. He fought anybody, any condition, any time.
The Chief Rocker, ladies and gentlemen, up in here preaching. Very well said, my friend. Now, let me just while you're on here, there's a couple chats I want to read here from RC, the boxing historian himself, and a very fine boxing writer. And keep an eye because he drops his own little blog every once in a while. Now, RC says, my dad and my oldest brother went to the closed circuit theater to watch Ali Holmes, and when he came home, he was pissed off. When I saw the replay, I cried like a baby. I was 10 years old.
Wow. And you know what? I went to that closed circuit too, man. Because see, people don't know, man, these days you get pay-per-view, you can be home. You had to go to a movie theater, you don't even know if the thing was going to show good. Some places, the thing didn't even come on. You didn't pay your money. You may catch it in the 5th round.
Yeah, this wasn't technology like it is today.
Yeah. So, that was a sight to see, man. And there was a lot of people. It was pissed in there. They was calling Holmes everything but the baby Jesus, That's real.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after the Holmes fight, he did fight one more time to future heavyweight champion Trevor Berbick. He lost the 10-round decision there as well. Finally, by the grace of God, he decided to hang it up for good, as that was in 1981. And obviously the Parkinson's started to creep in, and we know the history of what happened to the champ. So, Chief Rocker, before I get you out of here, first I wanted to thank you for calling in, man, and taking a few minutes to talk about Muhammad Ali, because you come from that
yes, sir.
That age group. And just like me, man, Ali has touched everybody. But while I got you